Yeah, I think, you know, with this being a resale shop, they got the higher brand stuff, you know.
So this is how they trail Grace Lippin. John Blacksmith has a device where he can hack into Grace Lippin's phone and his basically computer at home, and he can see what he's looking at. And he sees that he goes for the GPS and pulls up Lowe's department store. It's a place kind of like Home Depot, but it's called Lowe's. And it shows that night when they're at the motel, he goes, you know, and sets up his computer equipment and hacks in to Grace's devices at home, kind of like he uses like a home device, kind of with Google. And he finds out that he's looking at Lowe's to buy a product, and then he pulls up his GPS and sees that he looked for directions. So they decide to go to Lowe's to do a stakeout to see if Grace Lippin shows up, and lo and behold, he does, and they recognize him. And they follow him back to the farm, which they already know how to get there anyway because they have a lot of information on them. They follow him back to the farm, and that's when they knock on the door when he arrives. So they basically hack into a system, you know, illegally. John Blacksmith is kind of a hacker too. Think of this guy, he's from Oregon, he's kind of hippie, he's kind of got dreads in his hair, he knows a lot about computers and all this stuff, so he's able to kind of track him. And then they confront him and they talk to him, but he's very distant with them, so he's kind of short with them. So then finally they plan another thing the same way, but they plan it on a full moon. So they're gonna try to drag him out into the rays of the full moon to see if he turns into a werewolf. And that's when they find out that he doesn't turn into a werewolf, and that it's not Grace Lippin. And that's whenever he tells them about the tattoo in Rainey. And it was Rainey's idea, and they find out that Rainey's actually the werewolf. See, now I'm a big shot. What you gonna do? Thanks. See, a story is layered, and it takes a lot of emotion to create an honest story. You have to pull it from somewhere. See, those guys are working real hard, but you can't work your way into heaven, right? It doesn't matter what you do. You can't work your way into heaven. See, when Jesus was here, his followers didn't take arms, and that was a problem because he was crucified, because they didn't have the military. The problem with Biden is that he supports what Satan supports. Biden is basically somewhat pretty much like a Satanist. And Kamala Harris is like a voodoo lady. And they support killing babies. Now, if you're just sitting there, start exercising, start getting in shape. Get yourself a good HK7, MP HK7. Get yourself a really good FAMAS. FAMAS is a really good gun that's made by a French manufacturer. And it shoots a high power amount of bullets out very quickly. Same thing with the HK7, MP7. It's basically what Navy SEALs use. Now, since they get the chance to defend themselves, imagine 10,000 men all packed with armor and HK7s and FAMASs and snipers, right? And every single one of these men are armored to the gill from head to toe. Imagine 10,000 of them marching. You know the first thing they're going to do when that happens? They're going to raise a new flag at the White House. It's going to be the same color as the house, which is white. And that flag is a flag that they surrender. If there's 10,000 men marching with HK7s and FAMASs, they're going to raise that flag, the white flag. And Biden's going to surrender. Now, militiamen were captured. They captured militiamen near Maine. They've been taken captive. They're now in bondage of the government. But they're not going to get 10,000 of them, or 20,000, or even more. We've got 75 million supporters of the revolution. 75 million people can take action against just a handful. We'll overpower them and we'll order them to raise the white flag. And that's the last flag they'll ever see. See that shadow? See that? That's why I won. Because I cast a shadow. The werewolf is on the hunt. See? You think Biden can do that? No, he's sitting there all lazy, slurping on a rock star. Guess what? Slurping's over. Biden just hit poverty. We're not even gonna give Biden a fucking trailer to live in. You know what Biden could do? It's over for him. When he begs me, when he's on his knees bowing to me and begging, I'm gonna give him, when he's on his knees begging, I'm gonna give him the same courtesy he gave to an unborn child that didn't get a chance to be born in this planet. I'm gonna give him the same courtesy he gave for killing all those children. That's the courtesy I'm gonna give him. It's going to be very, very cold. I'm gonna tell him one thing and one thing only. Surrender. Surrender to the one and only. Biden, resign. And when Kamala Harris faces me, I'll give her the same courtesy she gave to those thousands upon thousands of unborn children that were slaughtered. I'm not even gonna look at her because I don't look at Medusa or voodoo witches. Both of them surrender. Resign! After they resign, they will hold their heads in shame and look upon the ground which their master slithers on. And they will walk out of the evil White House in shame, both of them crying in shame, as the white flag raises over the White House. And we cry, victory! The white flag represents that they have surrendered. They have surrendered to their own humility because they slaughtered too many unborn babies. Big thumbs up. Big thumbs up. Welcome to the Please Subscribe Show with Cole Spivey. I curse the killers of unborn babies in this country, and I say peace. And I also say this in one thing only. There will be a new country under my reign and those that are like me. And we will turn our enemies into wine with a great press. Okay, this is David's right here.
It is not that.
This
You
is
can't
David's,
do it,
right?
Okay, you cannot do that.
That's David's. See, I walked in and because of the color of my skin, she refused service. The reason why is because she's full of hatred. She grabbed the order, ripped it out of my hand, and ran to the kitchen with it. You know why? Because she refused to help. She refused to help her brother. You know why? Because she's evil, just like Kamala Harris. They're selfish people. They think they rule this country. They're done with. It is not right for someone to starve another individual or kill an unborn baby. See, any woman can lie about anything at any time, right? They can just be greedy and selfish. Greedy and selfish women are the devil's deed. It's hard to follow Jesus Christ, and it's hard to follow those that love. But it's easy to snatch and steal and hoard. There are people out there that will hurt you and that are selfish. Look, selfishness is evident. Selfishness is very, very clear, right? If you cannot be forgiving and you cannot be forgiving, if you cannot forgive other people, then you are selfish. You must be able to forgive other people or you become pure selfish. So I'll show you the example of selfishness. So I got the order and she grabbed it from my hands and ran into the kitchen, right? That shows no forgiveness. That shows no mercy, right? So now she has the complete order. Explain that to me, Cal. Doesn't make any sense. Yeah, so I'm at this burger curry thing and I say, hi, I'm here to pick up David's order, right? So what's your name? So look, I can show you the code. So I showed her my, my phone. She got up all of my like right up in where my phone was, which I had to show her the order. And I said, it's that order right there. And I went to grab the order and then she grabbed it and ran right in the kitchen. So now, what in the world? So I'm like, what, were you out of business or something? She was shaking her head or something. So I guess they closed down. So children, especially unborn children, have the right to life. It takes laws to kill them. It takes the government, the United States of America, is killing them. They have written laws that allow the execution of unborn babies. And the people that support that, Biden and Kamala, are murderers because they're allowing it to happen. Remember all the people that were executed in the Holocaust? Those were done by law. It was all done by law. Everyone that died in the real Holocaust, 6 million people, it was all done legally. Those laws were broken. And we destroyed the maker of those laws. Biden and Kamala have made laws to kill unborn children and to continue the invisible Holocaust. They need to be stopped. They need to be stopped now. There's no argument for abortion. When a woman lays down on that table, and the surgeon removes that unborn child from her, there's no argument. That child dies a horrible death. They freeze it. I want justice. Those unborn babies died, and I want justice. I want them to resign. Kamala and Biden, resign. So trust the revolutionaries now that are guided by voices. For a child will lead, and the ghost children of the lost babies will rise up and haunt the murderers. Just like Charles Dickens and the other guys talked about. Jonathan Swift, he spoke. Okay. Are y'all UNTers?
What?
UNT people?
No, we're just roommates.
Oh. Because we're right down the road from the university. I used to do that with my cat.
Yeah.
I had a cat with a leash.
Yeah.
They would act really, really crazy just like that. It's a little black and white cat. They do pretty good. They don't trot,
No.
but they do pretty well. As opposed to just kind of running up a tree.
Yeah.
I think they should have cat parks
I think so too.
rather than just like dog parks,
Mm-hmm.
because it's kind of biased against cat owners. But it's a cool cat. Hi, Pancake. How you doing, Pancake? That's a cool name for a kitty. Are you going on a walk today, Pancake?
We just got back from it.
Oh, really? Yeah, they do pretty good. Like, I used to walk in this park. I lived in Maine, and I had this this cat. We used to walk it on the park. Do you mind if I take a photo? It'll just take a moment. I gotta take for proof.